Hello and welcome back to our third episode of our podcast of Michelle Dennis Evans and Farmer Gregie.
We're interested what you guys think. We're thinking about Sibling Synergy or Stroke of Faith.
Yeah.
As the title for the podcast.
So give us a vote. If you think Sibling Synergy should be our title, our name of our podcast, please pop it in the chat. If you think Stroke of Faith has got a good ring to it, please drop that in the chat as well. And while you're at it, we are putting this on Greg's Facebook page and to both of our YouTube channels. So we'd love for you to hit the like button and pop into both of our YouTube channels and subscribe and like and comment. That would be awesome, so that we can see who you are watching. So my YouTube is Michelle Dennis Evans and Greg's is Farmer Gregie.
Correct, window.
And I'll put the links to both of those on Greg's page and on my Facebook page as well.
Yeah. On my YouTube channel, there's also lots of cool old clips from the farm days. Mm-hmm. If you want to look back at any of that stuff, you're most welcome to. Just to mention again of my book, Holy Cow, I've just been getting my support workers to read it to me at night. I just thought it's been a while since I read it, so I'm pretty impressed. It's a good read. It's actually still very relevant today, all of the things that I was saying. So
good book, highly recommend. Yes.
I did try very hard to not throw anyone under the bus, but it was a time of great frustration for me and all other dairy farmers, but I stayed as level-headed as I could and just
in the backyard.
just really presented the factual problem that arose on the back of all of the dramas with retail giants and the fallout of farmers, which has continued to happen. Sadly, there's not many left in Queensland. And as I said years ago, where is our milk going to come from if we just stop producing milk locally?
Here's our dear Nan. Aww.
Yeah, that was my last birthday lunch with Nan. She was nearly 89. I was 35 there.
Yeah. Beautiful woman, our Nan.
Yeah, her and I shared a birthday, 14th of November.
Every year?
Yeah, so
from when you were born.
Every year we all think of Nan when it's my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she's never left us.
I remember feeding calves with Nan. I would help mix up the calf milk, put powder in and mix it up, and then we'd go feed the calves. And
she used to collect the eggs before we did.
She showed us how to look after the chickens and collect eggs and make their nests good and clean out the chicken shed. That was a smelly job.
Yeah.
But hey, we got paid to collect eggs, so that was our first entrepreneurial journey.
Sell them to the family for $1.20 a dozen, I do believe. That was the going price.
I got it up to $2.
Well,
I was ripping everyone off by the time I finished.
She had it all figured out.
Up the price.
Imagine now we'd be able to sell them for $8 now.
Yeah.
Oh, how rich would we be if we were still collecting eggs and selling them?
Yeah. Anyway, we were going to talk a little bit more. Oh, did you have something?
Recovery. I'm just talking about recovery. I've had a few pretty crappy nights in a row, not sleeping. So if I fall off the chair, it's okay. I'll still
stop
alive.
The recording and
I'm still alive. I'm just having a camp in the floor.
So last podcast, we got up to talking about when Greg, he still had the tracheostomy in, he was talking and trying to start to swallow things so that the trachea could come out. And finally one day it came out and I got a phone call that was amazing. So Greg's first phone call that he made with the trachea out.
It was only in for a couple of weeks, was it?
Yeah, maybe a month or so.
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
6 weeks. It was quite a while.
It was funny one day, I remember when Michelle came into hospital and she said, "It's so nice to hear your voice." I was like, I didn't know I wasn't talking. I didn't know I hadn't been talking.
Yes.
All these voices were still talking in my head.
Yes.
That was really weird.
And then it took a little while, and the Gold Coast Hospital wanted to move Greg to Logan Hospital and then into BIRU, which was a brain rehab unit in Brisbane at the PA. And we were praying that a bed would come available at the PA so that Greg didn't have to have 2 moves. And it did. So it probably came a month before they even planned to move Greg to Logan Hospital. So that was really good, except they didn't let me know. And Greg was sitting in the waiting room downstairs waiting for the ambulance to take him. And he calls me, or someone, you said, "You better let Michelle know." And I'm glad he did, because I was on my way to the hospital and I would have missed him because he was about to jump in an ambulance and head to Brisbane. So that was interesting. Made it to Brisbane. And PA, that was, BIRU at PA is not the most comfortable of wards.
I was in a bedroom with about 20 other people.
There wasn't quite that many people, but it felt like it because there was only sheets between the beds, little flimsy curtains. It was very noisy. It was very cold. And there was no natural light in his room. It was, lots of fluorescent light, very uncomfortable. There was a nice courtyard there. We would go and wheel out to the courtyard whenever Greg was up to it.
Yeah, but the trouble with the courtyard, they would not allow me to stay there without supervision.
No.
Even though I was stuck in a chair going nowhere, the nurses would wheel me out to the sunshine and leave me there.
Yeah, so there was no staff available, so it was only when I was visiting that you could get out and get some sun.
Yeah.
Or someone else visiting, of course. Yeah, a lot of the therapy teams at BIRU were lovely. The physios were great. It wasn't the most fun place to be, and I remember going to that family meeting with you.
I was getting a bit grumpy too.
Yeah.
Because at this stage of my recovery, I was like nearly 6 months into recovery, so feeling very claustrophobic, and I guess in my mind, I was always like, nothing happened to me, I'm okay, why can't I do anything? I really was severely inhibited because I had no movement of my left leg and left arm. So right arm was working fine, but I couldn't stand or walk. And I was in a chair that I couldn't wheel. It could only be pushed by other people.
And the nurses were expecting you to start dressing yourself, move yourself in and out of bed, and that's when your rotator cuff injury was aggravated. And you're in a lot of pain.
Yeah.
You're in a lot of pain. You're very fatigued.
Then I was down to one leg and no arms.
Yeah, and the medication kept increasing for pain relief, and then antidepressants, and all it did was leave Greg very fatigued and grumpy.
They were leaving me in the chair too long during the day, and I was falling asleep in the chair. It was so uncomfortable. Felt like I was going to fall out of the chair, and they just kept saying, "Get used to it. You need it for your core strength." I think there was just a process of things that have to have time and patience. Trying to make them happen before time didn't help.
Yeah.
And I guess I was always trying to explain where I was up to, and sometimes the nurses weren't really listening very well.
Yeah, there were some lovely nurses there, and there was a different culture there than what we'd experienced elsewhere. That wasn't overly nice. And when we were at that family meeting and the options were, the only option pretty much was we could apply for Greg to go to the Jasmine Unit at Wynnum, which would be a 3 to 6 month recovery for brain injury. And we applied.
At that point, I was pretty demoralised because I was like, "You're kidding! Another 6 months?"
Yeah, Greg was ready to walk out tomorrow.
Except I couldn't walk. I just wanted out. Let me go.
The other option was to convert our home into pretty much a hospital room and bring Greg back to our house. And that would have been major modifications to our home at that point in time.
And while Michelle and Shane were very good, they offered to do that, but I kind of said, I don't think it's the right idea because this is going to be too much pressure on you guys, because I knew after hours how much help I needed when Michelle wasn't in the hospital. I needed help with the nurses to shower and toilet, and so we didn't do that. I'm glad now.
Me too. And we did. We applied for Jasmine Unit, and they said, well, you know, if a bed comes up, it'll be probably 4 to 6 week wait. And I think we heard the next week. Praise the Lord. We applied, we prayed, and Greg was on the move within 2 weeks, which was great because that was the most beautiful place that Greg was at.
So,
yeah.
And
just get my cuppa. The staff there were amazing. Greg had access to therapies 5 days a week, and it was an 8-bed unit, I think, but I don't think there was ever more than 7 people in his section in the Jasmine Unit, and a beautiful big courtyard with lots of sun for Greg to go and be outside because it was still cold with the air conditioning on all the time. Yeah. So you were there for 6 months?
Yeah, I spent best part of half a day every day in the courtyard. I'd go out and sit in the sun, and they also had a couple of extra therapies there, but like music therapy, which I loved, and as a group we wrote a song, and then I wrote a song by myself with the therapist.
Which is on your YouTube channel. I put that up on Greg's YouTube channel.
Oh,
so
cool.
Go watch, listen, hit the like button on that one too, please. Share it. It's a good song. Lots of good pictures on it too. My daughter Riti, she took it and put some pictures to it with Greg's journey. Nice. She didn't put there was one of you in just after the operation that showed all of your beautiful staples in your head. She didn't put that one in.
I should have done.
And the one of you with everything on you. He had a lot of machinery on him for a few days, and she didn't put that one in either.
I missed all that fun.
I can share those photos if you'd like.
Yeah, probably wouldn't be a bad idea.
Put them in the comments. Yeah. It's good to know where Greg was, to know where he is now.
One day when our oldest sister Thea visited, I said one of the guys in my bedroom was getting his staples out of his head. It sounded pretty painful. I said to Thea, I'm so glad I didn't have to get staples. And she laughed and she said, you had about 50 of them. And she showed me a photo. It looked like it had a shark bite on the top of my head. Staples all the way around.
Yeah, all the way around there. It's cut. And sometimes they actually remove the part of the skull that's cut and hold it until it can go back in. But with Greg's, they just let it float.
I got a floating brain.
And then they said it reconnects.
A floating bone plate. I'm not sure if there's a brain in there
if
at all.
If there's anything that just isn't quite normal, it's because it's a bit loose.
The brain might have leaked out when they had the bone plate out.
Oh, hilarious.
Sometimes I wonder.
Yeah.
Oh.
So we've been going for 14 minutes today, and you didn't get a good night's sleep last night.
No.
Is there anything else you wanted to talk about today?
I guess this is part of the problem of my recovery. I'm recovering too fast. And I'm like, let me get up and run. I can't even walk yet. I'm ready to go. I want to go. And so many things, big missions in my life coming. I know things are going to happen. So I don't always know how they're going to come to fruition, but I know, separate of this podcast, I've spoken about it a bit, but I'm going to do a national speaking tour and tell my story with another friend that I've made who has a similar story, and also share the importance of farmers, and what I've been speaking about for years has become even a more important part of my life. Real food is our medicine. Really focusing on that in my recovery. Eating really healthy now. I've stopped buying junk food completely. I can't even enjoy it. Like if I get any fried food.
You hear my voice in your head, don't
No,
you? Going, don't eat it, don't eat it.
I know I don't like the taste of it because I can taste the vegetable oil. I know that's a carcinogen.
Hey, speaking about that, yesterday, we both have a weakness for salt and vinegar chips, and they taste amazing, like so yummy.
They don't anymore.
And then I had some yesterday afternoon, and they did taste amazing.
Oh.
Yeah, they did. But I was awake at 2 this morning, and I reckon it was the seed oils on them with the worst reflux. I was in pain with indigestion. And the only thing I'd done differently was have a handful, not even a whole packet, a handful of salt and vinegar chips. Stay away.
I can taste it on the roof of my mouth now.
Yeah.
Vegetable oil. It's like...
So which oils are the good oils?
Butter. Tallow and lard that are hard to buy.
Lard.
Butter. Olive oil.
Olive oil, you've got to buy the better quality olive oil because, yes, there's a shortage of olive oil and the quality is diminishing. So if you go for the better quality olive oil, and it tastes different. It actually tastes nice. Tastes that real olivey yumness. And coconut oil is another good one. Again, organic. Make sure you get the good quality, not the cheap stuff.
And I hear mixed reports on avocado oil.
Again, where is it? How is it drawn out? And where's it from? So if you can find an organic, you know where it's coming from. Always go for the better quality. And avocado, yum. Just eat lots of avocados.
So it's like a lot of the oils is the amount of processing damage is the problem.
Yeah, oxidizes.
Yeah.
And then it oxidizes our insides. Not good.
It's like milk for a lot of people. They have trouble with homogenized milk. But if it's non-homogenized, then less damage, less destruction to the particles, no problem for digestion.
The body can recognize as food.
Yeah.
Over-processed, the body doesn't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
We haven't evolved that quickly.
Just having my cup of tea with 4 real milk.
Speaking of like that, I might grab myself a cup of tea now with some 4 real milk.
Amazing tea and coffee, they actually help combat cancer before it becomes a problem.
How does that happen? With what? Is it the polyphenols?
Polyphenols, yeah.
Is it the tannins in it?
I need to watch a bit more.
Yeah. Drink tea, it's good for you.
I reckon 5 or 6 cups of tea a day.
Unless you have a problem with caffeine, which some people do. Tea's never kept me awake. Tea seems to act differently in my body to coffee. The caffeine in coffee will keep me awake. I can't have too many.
I'm the same with tea. I can have a cup of tea at night. No
It'll just
problem.
make me go to the toilet.
Our mum can drink coffee at night.
And she has way too much coffee.
Doesn't affect her sleep
Doesn't
though.
affect her sleep.
But I can't drink coffee after lunchtime.
No, better off not to. Let your body calm right down so it sleeps well. Alrighty, that's us for this episode, and I'm sure you will see Greg do some more lives. Who knows? I might jump in and do a story here and there on my Facebook page. I don't know.
If you guys would like to hear anything on a particular topic,
Yep.
please give feedback.
Ask us some questions now that we've covered Greg's healing journey up to out of hospital almost.
Because we know a lot about everything.
We're really smart.
Yeah.
We're so smart. We know a lot.
And I'm always right. Sometimes she thinks she's right, but she'll comes around after a while to accept that I'm the one that's right.
I like to say I know a little about a lot. I could probably do better with knowing a lot more about a lot, but I like to know a little about a lot.
We both have a fair bit of our mother in us.
And our dad. Happens that way.
We're stubborn.
I'm not though.
Oh, no, she says.
On that note, I've got the control.
Okay.
See you all next time.
Thanks, guys.